Grubba Dub Dub, what's the tub? What's going on, my subscribers? Ace here, and I am here with the CCL Season 2 Round 4 match against Daniel's team, the Laverton Leafeons. My team is the Alabasta Arcanines. And as you guys saw in the team builder, you guys know why I built my team and how I built my team. So looking over at Daniel's team that he decided to bring, I was surprised he decided to bring the Hippowdon because I could have brought Sand Team and absolutely just I would have been able to just end up sweeping with one of those mons. But I was like, okay, realistically, the best lead for me is to lead off with the Elati because he's not going to lead off with the Sharpedo, seeing that I have a Mr. Mime there, which is most likely his choice Scarf, just to outspeed that specifically. So, I really am like, okay, he could probably lead with the Salamence and try and get a DD up against one of my mons that can't whittle him down. I could lead off with Rotom, which would be a decent lead, but I didn't want the Hippowdon staying in there and getting whittle damage on me, because I'd like to have it around for the Salamence, because realistically that's one of my major checks to the Salamence. So I decided to lead off with Lottie, because I felt that was probably my most solid option there, and I can just drop a Draco on pretty much anything that comes in, and then kind of hit whatever else wants to come in. Like, if something wants to swap in, or like try and stay in, then it's taking an additional attack, because I have coverage pretty much on everything. So let's get into the battle here, guys. So like I said, I am leading off with my Lottie here. And Megasonic Heroes PvP, Senor Daniel, leads off with Salamence here. And I was like, okay, you know, realistically, he's probably not going to be Scarfed, but he actually is ending up being Scarfed. And the reason I didn't think he was Scarfed here is because I had, like, him knowing my team, I have a Fairy type. So Scarfing yourself into Dragon Claw there didn't really make sense for me. But as you guys saw with my HP investments, I actually end up living with 1 HP, and we're going to have an equal trade here of me dropping a Draco, him dying to the Draco Meteor, and me dying to my Life Orb Recoil here. So, kind of an odd first turn. Really, I think that DD Ments is a better option against my team, just because I do have a Fairy type, and if you Scarf yourself in the Dragon Claw there, I could have just swapped into Mr. Mime, and then proceeded to get off a Dazzling Gleam against his entire team, which doesn't really like it. And see, this is the prime example right here. So he predicts me to go for the Spore here and swaps into his Superior here. Now, I don't really think this is a great swap in, so I decided to go for the Spore because, you know, if I get the Spore off on the Sharpedo, great. If not, then I'm fine. I can just Sludge Bomb this thing. Now, Daniel actually has the Tech Flip here. He doesn't realize, either he doesn't realize he's Contrary Superior, or like he had some problem in genning that he didn't mean to be contrary, because he grows there and he actually lowers his attack, making that attack do less there. So then he just brings himself down, and he dies to Life Orb Recoil after my Rocky Helmet damage. It's unfortunate for Daniel, but there's nothing I can do about that, so it's kind of just on him at that point. So now here, I was like, okay, no. Like, realistically, I love leaving my poison types in against psychic types, so I'm just going to go for the toxic here, because I figure this thing's probably bulky, and he actually sets up a Calm Mind, and I was like, oh shit, wait, that's probably not good for me. So now here, like, I'm like, okay, he's definitely going for the psychic or the Psyshock, more likely the Psychic, just like because it hits more of my team. But I swap into Hater My Dude here, just because I know I can eat it up, and then I can outspeed the following turn because I am Choice Scarfed. So I eat that up just fine. Like, I don't eat it up great because it's Calm Mind boosted and everything. But now I can freely just go for a X-Scissor here, and I know it will kill because I have the racked up toxic damage here, which will put him in range to be knocked out by an X-Scissor. So I do go for the X-Scissor here. He decides to stay in because he thinks he probably can live it, and he actually can't because I am max attack adamant. And we blow that thing back, so now we are ahead by 2 margins here. And if you guys haven't noticed, that Daniel's team is actually named after One Piece references, because my name is Ace, and I love One Piece, and other than it being the first 3 letters of my name, I actually chose my name because I love Fire Fist Ace as well. And here I make the swap to Hippowdon, predicting the Earthquake, because it kind of was obvious here, and even if he goes for the Stealth Rocks there, it's great to get in my Toasty here before the Stealth Rocks go up, so I don't have to take the percentage from super effective to the Stealth Rocks there. So now I'm like, okay, here I could just go for a Will-O-Wisp, because realistically he's probably going to end up going for a Stone Edge or Stealth Rocks. But either way, I'm in a pretty good position. So he decides to go for a Rock Slide here, and I was a little surprised by that. So he doesn't have Stone Edge, he has Rock Slide, but that's going to do not too much to me because I do have the burn on him now. So I'm feeling I'm in a pretty good position here, and I could protect or I could swap out here. And realistically, I'm like, okay, you know, I'd like to keep this thing around. So I'm just going to swap out here into my Amoonguss because I know this thing pretty much just walls him. And I don't have to worry about taking too much damage because I have the Regenerator, so I can just kind of eat up hits. He actually decides to withdraw here as well into his Frankie the Vaporeon, which is a pretty fortunate swap for me here. I didn't really think he was going to do this. I kind of thought he was just going to end up staying in going for Stealth Rocks. But maybe he didn't have it at that point. I don't know. And here I was like, okay, you know, I could Spore, but I really just want to Toxic this thing. Even if the Hippowdon comes back in, I'm fine with that. So he goes for the Ice Beam here, which is going to do a decent amount. He's probably, like, from that, he's probably, like, invested probably max into special attack, like, max HP, max special attack, or some close variant to that, because that did quite a bit of damage to my max HP, max special defense Amoonguss. And now here, I don't really want to take another one of these, so I'm just going to swap out here, I believe. I'm pretty sure I swap out this turn. Because I don't want to take another Ice Beam. Yeah, I swap out right here. And what do I go into? Oh, I go into Mr. Mime, yeah. Because Mr. Mime has decent special defense. And if he tried to change up moves or anything, I felt it was pretty much fine for me. But yeah, here I just thought, you know, let's bring this thing in and then kind of like see what he does here, because I can just go for a Scarf Dazzling Gleam and get off damage against this, because Amoonguss pretty much just walls his entire team. So basically at this point I think I've won since Salamence is gone. So I can just start firing off some Dazzling Gleams. So now Daniel here withdraws here and he goes into his Sharpedo, which is an unfortunate swap for him here. I think he was thinking that I was going to go for a Psyshock or a Psychic, trying to predict what spread his Vaporeon was, but actually just go for the Dazzling Gleam here and absolutely blow back this this Sharpedo named Nami, unfortunately for Daniel. So now I'm looking in a pretty good position here. I don't really feel like any pressure on myself here. Like I see this thing coming in, and I have an obvious two swap-ins that I could go to. I can go into Amoonguss or I can go into Rotom Heat, either way. But I just decided to go into Amoonguss because Amoonguss basically just walls the end of his team now. There's nothing that can wall me down here. So this Rock Slide is going to connect, and it's going to do barely any damage, and I'm just chilling at this point. Now I can just start going for some Giga Drains or Sludge Bombs. I decided to go for the Sludge Bomb because I figure he's going to swap, like, I figured he was going to swap into one of his other mons, but he doesn't there, so I was like, okay. He actually Whirlwinds here, so I was like, okay, that it doesn't really affect me. I just kind of am curious what I'll go into. And I go into swap-ins here, and I'm like, okay. I don't really feel I need to stay in with swap-ins, but I can just Dazzling Gleam so that if he tries to slack off, then I don't have to play that game with him. I just want to kill him off at this point. I don't want him to get a free slack off, so I'm just gonna, like, I think I do this for about 3 more turns before, like, he decides, no, it's actually 2 more turns, and he'll decide to Earthquake. But realistically, at this point, I'm pretty sure that Daniel had known that I had won. He was just kind of just playing it out here at this point. And like he has to slack off and hope that I just get like a really low roll, but like realistically he's not gonna kill me. That's why I decided to stay in, because I was like, you know, keeping the differential is important, but he can't really kill me with an Earthquake at this point because he is bulky, just based on how this isn't killing him. And you guys can see from this Earthquake that it's not gonna kill me because he is burned and he's a bulky variant as well. So he's gonna go. Basically, he's going to go down to my Dazzling Gleam now because he's not faster than me and he can't slack off priority. So he's gone there, and now the last one I believe he has is the Vaporeon. Yep, the Vaporeon Frankie comes out, which is a pretty appropriate name except it's female, but either way. So now I just pop into my Leave Me Alone, the Amoonguss, just to kind of clinch out the match here because I have no reason to let Mr. Mime go down. I just want to keep the differential there. He goes for Surf, just locking into the last desperate move. But either way, it wouldn't really matter because I could just swap around if he had gone for like Ice Beam and Froze Me or something like that, and kind of just whittle down the rest of his team, or well, whittle down just this Mon, basically. So at this point, I had basically known it was over. I could just Giga Drain back all the health that he's going to be whittling down from me. He's going to be taking more toxic damage than I'm going to be taking from Ice Beam. As long as I don't get frozen, like, it's fine. And realistically, he has to freeze every single Mon and not die to toxic damage before that point. And, like, he could really do that, but I guess, like, if he wanted to wish stall up, but the toxic damage would eventually catch up with him. So basically, at this point, he knows it's over. So he's just gonna play out the last couple turns. So that's gonna be the Alabasta Arcanines at 4-0. I believe that, yeah, it's week 4, so it's 4-0. And I'm feeling really good, guys, as we get these last couple of little turns here going. But yeah, I'm feeling really good, guys. If you guys felt, my preparation wasn't great. And like I said at the beginning there, I really didn't expect Daniel's Salamence to be Scarf. If it was like a regular showdown match, maybe, like, realistically, I would have said, okay, this is Scarf, definitely, because it makes sense for, like, a showdown team. But for, like, a matchup like this, where he knows I have a Fairy type, I just didn't, it didn't seem logical to me for him to bring a Scarf Salamence, when my Lottie, like, my Lottie could be Scarfed, my, Mr. Mime is right there, and, like, just to lead off with it like that, it logically didn't make sense to me, but either way. Like I said, that's going to be a 4-0, or that's going to be a nice and 5-0 for us, 4-0 on the record board for us. And yeah, guys, make sure to check out Daniel. Make sure to check out everybody in the CCL. We have some, as you guys saw, some pretty good nicknames on our mons. I had Leave Me Alone. I don't know. It wasn't like it's like a T joke or something from Avatar, The Last Airbender, and I thought it was pretty funny. So yeah, but make sure to check out all those series, guys. I'd really appreciate that, and make sure to check out the other series on my channel and people who's in the CCL. I know that Demon's doing a lot of Fire Emblem stuff, and Weezings doing a lot of Skyrim stuff and stuff like that. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'm out. Bye bye.